Coronavirus continues to kill Israelis. The pandemic has not been controlled in the Hebrew state. However, having the lowest percentage of deaths compared to other Western countries with press freedom and good percentage of daily population testing is striking. Of the 26 deaths to date, the vast majority are the elderly with pre-existing conditions, and despite the fact that the infected over the age of 70 actually is 6.5% of the total infected, how do you explain such a situation? May this serve as an inspiration to our friends around the world. Number one, Israel took the threat seriously from the beginning. It was one of the first countries to close its borders and cancel classes, considering that children are the least affected but the ones that are the most infected. From the government, it was understood that the population most at risk were our elders, asking families not to visit our grandparents to protect them, replacing contacts via WhatsApp. Number two, Israel entered this crisis in a good economic situation. Average annual income reached $45,000 and unemployment was less than 3%. When a country like Israel gets into trouble with $130 billion in reserves, it can, if the problem is taken seriously, order its workers into forced isolation, investing funds in equipment and subsidies. Yes, unemployment now exceeds 20%, but we have to be confident that the economy will recover. Number three, the country's intelligence services have turned to saving lives, this time not to prevent terrorist attacks, but to exploit accumulated knowledge to detect the infected. On the other hand, Mossad agents have used their global contacts, perhaps by asking for past favors in countries around the world to get respirators, protective equipment for our doctors, and tests to screen for the infected. The Shin Bet exploits its technological capabilities to warn us via our mobile devices. At the same time, the best technical minds are working to find remedies or to invent massive and inexpensive respirators to meet future needs. Number four, the media and the government have invested great efforts in explaining the situation to us, and the measures taken were staggered, but clearly directed towards the worst case scenario. The advantage of belonging to a people, the Jewish people, who perceive itself as a family, is that the levels of solidarity and mutual protection are high. Therefore, there are sectors of the population, especially the ultra-Orthodox ones, that have taken longer to prioritize health due to their principles and beliefs. That's where the attention has been focused in recent days. Finally, number five, Israeli society is accustomed to crisis. This disease is reminiscent of the Persian Gulf War or other battles that we have suffered in the past. We are accustomed to relinquish acquired rights for the common benefit. We are confident that when we overcome the virus, we will regain those rights. And if necessary, we will accumulate food in order to share it with neighbor until the virus leaves. If we have overtaken Pharaoh of Egypt, the Inquisition, and the Nazi genocide, our people will always overcome this virus. Chag Pesach Sameach to all. Happy Feast of Freedom, and Am Israel Chai.